morning. Are you all right? Okay, tomorrow we will have the last class, and as I told you yesterday, some of us, if you like, you can have something on your own, some different kind of presentation, maybe a few people, not too many, and then we will wind up the course. In the fourth cycle representation, which we completed just now with the presentation by Manoj, has given me a lot of satisfaction. Many people spoke very well in nearly all ways. You were slow, you had something to say. Many of you appeared to me quite comfortable, not nervous or tense. Your slides were well done, mostly. I am not saying entirely or all of it. I am also not saying you have nothing more to learn. Do you understand me? Okay. Learning is a continuous process, and perfection is the only goal. We must continue to learn, we must strive to be the best, and you are best only if you are good in all respects. If you are good in maths, but not in mathematics, but not in physics, or not in chemistry, or not in languages, then you are only partly good. You cannot be called perfect. So, the feedback that I am going to give you on the cycle yesterday should be taken seriously, but not too seriously. Okay? These are the areas where we need to pay attention. As I have been telling you, for want of time, I have not been able to look through all the 37 or 38 presentations we have had. I have so far looked at only about 15, and therefore, I have selected examples from only these 15. That definitely does not mean that others are perfect, or these people are the only imperfect people. Do you understand me? Okay. Do you understand me? Right? So, take it like that. Maybe if I am able to watch the remaining presentations this afternoon, I will have some more examples from them tomorrow. But the message once again is, if you think you have learned something, and if you think it has helped you become a better speaker, that is a decision you have to take. I cannot decide that for you. If you feel more confident, if you feel that you have learned something, then keep it up. My last lesson to you would have only these 3 words. How do you pronounce it? Keep it up. Yeah, this the main stress comes on this. Actually, a lot of people, yes, I found, and we haven't had time. We can't learn everything only inside the classroom. We will also have to look up the book. Whenever you have this word coming next to a verb, it is up or off, what we call prepositions take stress. So, you can say shut up, or you can say sit down. Okay. Prepositions take stress in such combinations when they come after verb, not when they come up. So, you can say keep up or keep it up. Okay. So, keep it up. Do not after the pressure for grades and after the pressure from the course ends, many people, I find them next semester, I teach them and I find them speaking rapidly, and I ask them, what Dinesh, why this? And then Dinesh tells me, sir, that was last semester. that course is over. No good thing is meant for only one course. Okay? Like all great truths, it is true that we cannot teach you everything the same day. It is true that we cannot learn everything the same day, but whatever we have learned is worth keeping. Don't return it to me. Keep it with yourself. Possibly pass it to the next generation, pass it to your friends, pass it to your family when you have a family. Okay? So, in that spirit, take this thing. I am extremely unhappy with some people who did not listen to the others. That is not good manner. Okay? And believe me, please, believe me, language is a social phenomenon. You can get away with bad pronunciation, you can get away with bad presentation, you can get away with mistakes of vocabulary and grammar, but you cannot get away with social crudeness. Do you understand? Am I clear to you? You cannot get away with social crudeness. You cannot expect others to come to your birthday party when you do not go to your birthday party, no matter how high, how mighty you are. Okay? It won't bring you success, it won't bring you happiness. Happiness comes from, because human beings are social creatures. We are primarily social creatures. We cannot live alone. Suppose I give you everything and keep you in the hostel, books, food, cold drink, video of sarang, everything, okay? And don't let you see anybody for 1 year, 2 years. Do you think you can be happy? There is a very good story on this subject. Have you heard of somebody called Tolstoy? How many people have heard of him? Okay, lovely. Have you read any story by Tolstoy? That's the best. Actually, many people say that the best novel ever written. Okay. Have you read any of his short stories? Anybody? Okay. This vacation, do find, you may not read all because Tolstoy wrote a lot, okay, but at least 1 or 2. And one story that you must read is this. The story is called, please write, The Bet. Oh, I am extremely sorry, it is not Tolstoy, it's Chekhov who wrote, another Russian writer. The story is called The Bet. Okay? Check with the Google. I'm slightly confused. I read these stories when I was your age, which is nearly 50 years ago. Okay? Just Google it and just search it on the net and see who is. It's one of those 2 or 3 great Russian authors. The Bet is a story between two friends. They take a bet, one day, what brings happiness, millions of dollars or human company. And one of the 2 friends says, if I have millions of dollars, I don't need any human company. Can you live 14 years without human company? I will give you everything, everything that you can imagine, but no human company. And they take a bet, and the friend gets into a room under lock and key. The key is thrown into the well, and the friend has to be there. Did the friend survive for 14 years? Who won the bet? What is your guess? Who won the bet? The friend could not survive in confinement for 14 years. How many people think the friend could not? Okay. How many people think the friend did? The confined friend lived in confinement for 14 years. Read this story. I won't tell you what happened. Okay. Do it. It's not a long story. It won't take you longer than 10 minutes. I am very confident it is there on the net. Just check. It is either Chekhov or Tolstoy. Most probably, if I remember it right, it's Chekhov. It's a moving story. It's one of those stories you can never forget. It is one of those stories you would like to tell your son or daughter 10 years from now, or 5 years from now. Okay, let's say 7 years from now. Okay, you see, one of those things. It's a very powerful statement of the fact that human beings can have everything, but happiness does not come to them unless they can boast about their success. What is the point in you getting a Nobel Prize if newspapers don't print your photograph, if television channel doesn't interview you, if you don't talk about it with your family, friends, and there, more than pronunciation, more than PowerPoint slides, please believe me, if I have to teach you one lesson, I like to teach you this: be socially correct, be cordial. The word is, what the meaning of the word cordial? Heart. Cor in Latin means heart. Be cordial. What is this word? Cordial. What is this word? It's a long vowel. Cordial. It's not cordial. It's cordial. What is it? Cordial. Okay. Be cordial. And therefore, those who heard you should have been heard by you. But I find that many people, particularly, excuse me, particularly among the BTechs, they think I am so smart that I made the presentation, did not hear the others. Well, I have nothing to say. Is that a smart? In my opinion, nothing could be more stupid. Right, come to the excuse me, feedback now. Gokul is one of those smart people who was heard by the others, but he did not hear the others. Convey my greetings and good wishes to him. Also tell him that he should be socially correct.
Gokul, and my roll number is CH10B017. Today I am here to talk about the late machine.
Is that rapid or slow or okay? What would you say? Okay. What would you say? Come on, make an opinion. It's still quite rapid. It's still quite rapid. It is more than, you are able to understand him, Dinesh, because you are from this community. Even he spoke 3 times fast, but try and play this tape to somebody who hasn't heard him, from another culture, another country. You must, a presentation for 110 seconds should be like, once in a lifetime effort. Give it your best. Don't say too many things, but whatever you say must be said with absolute clarity, with absolute patience. Okay? They must be delivered well. Words are delivered. You give them to someone else. Imagine somebody giving you a drink, comes running, leaves it at your table, runs away. Something is spilled, something is dropped. Would it give you the same pleasure? It won't. So is the case with words. Actually, in many cultures, rapid speech is considered impolite. Okay. In my opinion, Gokul is still rapid, but you reach your own conclusion. I don't want you to agree with me.
Which are very familiar to us in our first year. A lathe machine is a machine 036.
Okay, Rohan, are you here? No, okay, right. Convey my greetings to him. He should have been here. Okay. Now pay attention to some aspects of words, language, and pronunciation.
My topic for this cycle is bicycle. Every one of us here has once owned a bicycle. It is very robust and can be truly called the universal vehicle.
What is the pronunciation of this word? Come on, how many? No, it's not. today when you go back to your hostel, check with the dictionary. What is it? Yeah, this H is not pronounced. It is vehicle. Now, the question I am asking you is the following. Rohan otherwise made a good presentation, but should he not have checked? This is his key word. Am I right? Am I right? Kiran, am I right? Should he not have checked its pronunciation with a dictionary? What is your, tell me yes or no? Believe me, and you know, the second lesson I want you to remember is, for the rest of your life, no matter what you do, whether you run a pizza delivery company, you know, like there was a write up about the Flipkart in last week's newspapers, the two IIT boys within a few years of graduation are already billionaires or millionaires, delivering others' books from others' shop to somebody else. What a smart idea, right? You know, it's like what we call extramarital affair. Somebody else's wife, somebody else's husband, you have no responsibility, only fun. Okay? Right? It's like that. Okay? Right? Should he not have checked, you know, words are delivered. Should he not have checked, should Dinesh, should Rohan not have checked the pronunciation of this word? Success in life is directly proportionate. You can have a mathematical equation on this, is directly proportionate to the amount of attention you give to all aspects. There is no exception to it. Someday if you have time, and find time before you leave this institute. This institute does not have only sarang or hostel night, it also has a library. Look up the biography of people like Alexander. How did that guy, 32-year-old, manage an army of over 100,000 across several continents? Did he drink water? Did he keep his gold carefully? How did his horses find fodder in the winter of Iran? Do you think he paid attention to these things, or after every victory he got drunk, had hostel night, okay, took his friends to his room and had party in the room? What do you think? What is your answer? What is your answer? Anyone please? He paid attention to every little thing, including the fodder for the horses, including how to protect the horses from the rains of India. India's monsoon can be torrential. Nobody in India's military history has won a war against India during monsoon except Alexander. He struck when it was raining extremely heavily. You must study these things. You know, language is a very small part of human personality. Human personality is about details. Human beings are the only people who can talk to their grandfathers and grandson at the same time. No other animal can do that. If you don't imagine, if you don't exercise your intelligence before a war, believe me, you are going to lose the war. This was a classic case of a wonderful presentation, little details missing. Okay, I am over exaggerating one point, but I am not making that point. Do you see my point? What is my point? Oh, my point is check. When you go to war, when you go to mountaineering, check the laces of the boot. If the lace of the boot is not strong enough, you are going to fall down from a height where death is guaranteed. Mountaineers do that. Okay? Are you with me? Yes. Sure? Okay, let's move on.
Forward motion. A bicycle works on the ratchet mechanism.
What is the pronunciation of this word? What is the pronunciation of this word? Mechanism. And what did Rohan say mechanism. Just as you must pay attention to every detail. In some respects, it must be your habit. When you go to play tennis, okay, and somebody gives you half volley, or when you play football or hockey or any sport, you don't consult your friend. Now, should I pick up my racket on the right hand and take it behind me 45 degrees and then I should hit it, because that is the only way you can return half volley. Or if it is the backhand, it should be a part of your habit. Okay? It should be a part of your habit. Therefore, key areas, I have only, has anyone counted the number of words that I have given you there in that book, which you bought for some money? There are fewer than 600 words, and you have 4 months. You had 4 months. If you take care of even 10 words every day, you will never make, this is guaranteed, tested, you will never make any mistakes of word stress, okay, which is what Rohan did. And in crucial, this is his key word, right. Let us move on. Aparna, you spoke very well yesterday.
Is Aparna. My roll number is CS10.
What's your roll number? Yes, it is CS. Little details, Don't be the minimalist. Do you know the word minimalist? Please write and check. Minimalist. Doing the minimum required. Okay? Doing the minimum. Don't wash because you can go to the class without washing. Okay? Don't have breakfast because you can go to the class without breakfast. Read minimum so that you can pass this semester. Aman and I see this attitude in plenty in a place like Bihar. Okay? Believe me, there is nothing God has not given us in Bihar. We are the richest state in India, and yet we are the poorest, 27th in terms of, because we are minimalist. Minimum effort. Somebody else will come and take care of our floods. Somebody else will come and build our roads. That is what you are doing. And not only Aparna, lots of us, in spite of 4 months of course, you are saying my roll number is BT. It is not BT, it is BT. Okay? Please, even now. So, the course begins, in my opinion, the course begins day after tomorrow, when you begin teaching yourself.
B003. Today, I am going to talk about vacuum cleaner. As you can see in the image, her name is Claudia Michel. She was by plastics and carbon fiber so that the material gets stronger.
Otherwise, it was good, but there was no need for her to shake so much. Okay.
GPS technology consists mainly of the following 3 segments: the user segment, the space segment, and the control segment.
I liked your slides very much. Okay. This is how slides ought to be used. Slides are meant for illustration, diagram, data, titles. They are not meant for you to write your text and then read them aloud. Okay? This is, can you stitch a shirt with a sword? You cannot. There is a needle for that. Similarly, PowerPoint, when PowerPoint came, my generation has seen the revolution. There is nothing like PowerPoint. We used slides, overhead projectors. Before overhead projectors came, there used to be photographic slide. So, if you had a lecture 2 months later, you began preparation today. You wrote it out, took photographs, made negatives, then they were taken to a camera projector, then they made a lot of noise and some projection was possible. So, when PowerPoint came, anybody could make a slide presentation, but what is the slide meant for? A lot of us do not remember that. I will show you some slides. So, this was good. I must congratulate you on that. Maybe some fonts could have been larger, because among your audience, remember, you have all kinds of people. You must remember that. Actually, before you make a presentation, you must ask yourself who I am going to speak to, and keep their ability or inability in mind. Okay?
Based on physical feasibility and with a satellite that is in
Now, look at this slide. Okay? How many seconds would you require to read this? Count. Let us start. Begin now. How many? Anyone who finished reading? How many seconds did you take? Yeah, quite truly, it does take time. How many did you take? 20, 35, okay. It's not that you can't have those texts, but ask yourself how much. Say, for example, your first line, phones communicate with satellites that are in a line of sight from the phone, could be reduced. The number of words could be reduced. Phones aligned with satellite, or come and talk to somebody, give it a thought, cut on the number of words, cut on the visual load for your audience, okay, so that it can be easily seen. Have you seen hoardings where a large board and you have only one word in some corner? That is very clearly seen. And imagine a signboard which has our entire address, including our JEE rank. Here lives Dinesh Gondappa. Street number, door number so and so, street number so and so, studied in Good Shepherd or Lovedale, and JEE rank, CGPA. Lot of people do that. Doctors do that. Okay, how many people read their board carefully? Okay, so you have to ask yourself. This is a huge lesson in communication. Reduce visual load. Sorry, Dinesh, I am making fun of. Next time I will mention somebody else. Okay.
direct line of sight from the phone
and close. Then we try to place the magnet.
I am going to, are you here? Yeah. I am going to put you the first face, when it is uploaded on the YouTube, you will lead the, the entire thing. I have already told Santosh to put this thing the first. I am really very happy, very pleased that at least one person took the trouble to dress up. It should be that way. Believe me, many of us, many more than we really realize, are so inflexible. So, we are so stereotyped, such straight jacketed, that even in weddings, I find very few people coming in traditional dress. They come in jeans and t-shirt. I am not against jeans and t-shirt. I am not against even going without clothes. Go without clothes. How does it matter? Okay? But at an appropriate place, in the bathroom, not at the central station. So, when you come for a traditional thing like somebody's wedding, can't you at least come in the kind of clothes your grandfather, if you have them available, your grandmother wore? Many of us are inflexible. Once again, remember, your personality gets depth through your flexibility. It is not a big mark of your manliness if you say, I do not know cooking. You are a great man if you know everything else plus cooking as well. Great cooks have been great men in Indian history, at least. Am I right? Am I? But a lot of boys will tell you, no, I do not know, as if it were some JEE kind of achievement. Okay? So, I am very happy with you, that you had this what we call nearly full suit. Okay? shoes, ties, jackets, etc. And you know, this attracts attention. It helps you stand out. People see you in your clothes first. I am not telling you spend your fortune on clothes. I am not telling you buy a shirt every week. That is obsession. But as Buddha said, the truth is somewhere in the middle, in the center. You know, my favorite example is the truth is neither in Mandakini hostel nor in ocean engineering department. It is somewhere in HSB. Am I right? Okay. Right. So, thank you very much.
Magnetic domains which repel the source of the magnetic field, that is the
What is the pronunciation of? What is the pronunciation of this word? And how did you pronounce it? You see, once again, check the button of the jacket, check the holder where rose will stick. Okay, every little thing is to be checked.
magnet, so it gets lifted. This phenomena has found many applications.
Is it singular or plural? Can you say this phenomena? What is the correct pronoun for that? These phenomena or this phenomenon. Correct? A lot of us make this mistake with data particularly. We say this data. Data are plural. What is the singular of data? Datum. What is the singular of data? Datum. So, we must say these data. You know, a lot of people say this data, let them. But you know what I am trying to say, that you know, take care, you know, take care, right.
And we'll talk about static mixer.
What was that photo? Is that photograph from you or from? Okay, fine. Let's move on. Are you here?
Static mixer is
Ah.
a device which mixes a
What is the pronunciation of this word? The phrase? And after static? But you said it so quickly that 3 or 4 of us heard it together yesterday, and we had difficulty making out until we saw. Give it time. It is a static mixer. What is it? Mixer. You know, give it time. This is your key word. You are going to tell the entire presentation. A 3-hour movie is going to be shown for those 2 words. What are those 2 words? Love story. You know, each Indian film, in my opinion, should have only one name. Love story 1, love story 2, love story 347. Okay, because they are all only love stories. Okay, so but that love story should be delivered. You see, when it comes before at the head of the Indian cinema, it comes with music, bang, big capitals, and all that. Okay. Otherwise, you know, it's fine.
fluid flow in homogeneously.
These panels are generally of 124
Dinesh, I want you to listen to yourself. Okay, like you were listening to somebody else.
mm thick, and in the hollow section, reinforcement, plumbing, electrical services are placed, and later
Are you slow or rapid? You are slower than you were, no doubt. If I compare this presentation with your first, you are slower, but not yet. Okay? Get down to the, you know, like imagine you are talking to an 8-year-old, telling that 8-year-old boy or girl story. Okay, with all the love, with all the drama that you are capable of bringing in your voice. Okay, it is like a bad salesman. You know, the salesman wants you to take the loan from Citibank, and you know, once he has got you on phone, he goes on.
for additional strength, concrete is poured into it. Now, in very well indicated and
Your slide. seriously speaking, do you expect anyone to read it? How many seconds would it take? How many minutes actually? Dinesh, read it from the beginning to the end. Quickly, I will see how many seconds it takes you. Your time begins now. Okay, how many seconds? Okay, so it took you about 10 seconds. Others will take 3 times as many, because you know the matter. You have already seen it at least once, hopefully. Okay? Others will take, and you know, therefore, you have to ask yourself how much. I am not saying, I am not telling you don't use it. Ask yourself how much of it must. Here is the minimalist attitude. Here you must ask yourself, have I given you those words, minimum essential? Here you must ask yourself, what is the minimum essential? What must get in here? Okay? Right, move on.
You can see in terms of labor, it's just almost cylinders.
Slides are not meant for you. Who are they meant for? Your listeners. You should be looking at the slide. You should not be talking this way. Okay? They are for the others. You should know them like the back of your hand, like a good salesman does. You know, I grew up in a village where sometimes snake charmers would come, and snake charmer never looked at the snake, but he held the snake this way and then would tell us all kinds of stories. You know, when the snake started to marry the other snake in the other village, etc., etc., and boys and everywhere. Actually, he wanted to sell some herbs to the village, but he said interesting stories, never looking at the snakes, and we always, boys, you know, young boys, we always admired his courage. Wow, how manly. You must be the snake charmer. Do you understand? Whose slide is this? Do you seriously expect anyone to look at all of them? My God, you know, it's what you do you know what the technical term we use for it in psychology? We call it over information or information overload. In one slide, actually this is fit material to go, in my opinion, at least in 3 slides. Okay? Unless it was avoidable. Was it unavoidable? All in one slide together? Are they related to one another? Okay. In that case, you had time for nothing else. You could have kept only this slide, and using a laser torch or using the cursor, you could have taken us through the slides. Do you see the point? I hope I am not making fun of you. Okay? This is just otherwise, you know, as I told you in the beginning, everybody this cycle has given me presentations close to my satisfaction. Many people have done extremely well. So, I am just drawing those areas where some improvement is required.
The secret message is hidden inside the inner stopper here. Thank you.
Okay, I think, you know, I'll stop here, and if you have any questions, I will take those questions. Do you have any questions about the feedback I gave you? Okay. If you have any question, please interrupt me. Otherwise, I am going to draw your attention to something else. In a presentation, you know, now that you have completed your presentation, you do not have to do anything here. We do not have any examination. Later in life, you know, when you make a presentation, you have slides, you have clothes, you have lots of things to worry about. Can we make a priority list? What is it we must do before we do anything else before a presentation? Give me that list. I would like you to take a minute, think about it, and give me that list. Should we worry about slides? Should we worry about pronunciation? Should we worry about tie or shoes? What is it we should worry about? give me a list of about 4 or 5 items which we must worry about before we make a presentation in the order in which they ought to happen. If I had only 1 minute, what is it I will worry first about? Okay, so make your list. This is my list. You really don't necessarily have to agree with me. You can have a different list, okay? But in my opinion, this should be the order. Content, what is it I am going to say in 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes, in 40 seconds or in 15 minutes. You must give it adequate preparation. If you accept some job, if you accept an invitation to speak, if you are obliged to do an assignment which includes presentation at this institute or elsewhere, give it adequate time. It is directly, the level of your success is directly proportionate to the amount of preparation that goes in, and the preparation must begin with content, in my opinion. Okay. Then use slides and other kinds of aid. If you are distributing handouts, be prepared. If you are speaking at a place like Madras, then be prepared for the fact that there can be power failures, and you cannot say now I won't talk because there is power failure. Be ready with the backup. Okay. After all, it is you who has been invited to speak, not the computer, not the PowerPoint. Okay. So, you must be ready for the battle without the horse. Okay. Then comes language. Check keywords, check their meaning, check their pronunciation, whether flavor is the right word or aroma is the right word or fragrance is the right word. What would do? Okay. Then your stage manners matters, clothes. Given a choice, go in a clean shirt. Given a choice, put some comb in your hair. Given a choice, do other such things. You will make a great presentation. Okay. I think I will stop here. Do you have any questions or anything else to add to it? Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.